Let's do this. All right. Good morning. Welcome to
Hey,
YAP.
morning. Hey, it's
Coming,
YAP. Holy
coming,
crap.
coming live to you from the ripe hour of 4:04 p.m.
Sponsored by Gatorade No Sugar.
Not yet.
Please, please,
Do so though.
please.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. I'll say that for sure.
Yep.
Devin, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
How's it going?
I'm good. My body clock feels weird because I'm usually sitting here with you at 8 a.m.
Yes.
It's like I'm on European time right now.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, by the by, can we talk about, like, the awards?
Yeah, but let's go for it.
Yeah. Just I don't want to break the illusion.
No, you're good. You're
of,
good. You're good.
You know, because we're doing this a few days earlier,
You're
but
good.
the Grammys are on as we speak.
Yes.
And about to end. So
Yes.
we'll get to that later.
Yes.
But, yeah, just, ooh.
Yeah, let's get into it. I think I
Excited, yeah.
prefer the PM recordings. I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, these are
Do the
nice.
shift to
These
that.
are nice. Yeah, I feel awake.
Yeah.
At least.
It's better than waking up doing the podcast.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
like, I don't know, especially I'm a bit self-conscious about like my eye bags and stuff, and like they're like really prominent like at 8 a.m. in the day when you're just like, yeah, so basically
you're
the
always
way this
beautiful, man.
marketing
Don't
thing
say
would
that.
stop. All right, let's get into it, man.
All right.
Trump is president.
Yes, he is.
Love it or hate it. Most are on either side. I don't know. But he has. This is like one of the very first presidencies that I've seen take drastic measures this early on.
Yeah, he's probably for his first. We're entering his third week now. It's probably the most, definitely, yeah, the most drastic.
What was it? He like signed like 200 executive orders on like his first night or something.
Crazy amount of like.
And like he had like a live crowd. It was so weird.
Yeah, that was all such performative shit. Like signing executive orders in a stadium.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sold out, packed out show, full of magas. I don't know. It's interesting, but on the White House side of things, they're recruiting TikTokers now.
Yes, they are.
What's that about?
I don't know. It's you've chose the right guy for this
Yeah,
topic.
tell me.
Because well,
Journalism has taken a new low.
I'm literally the journalist in this team.
Yes.
That's a toughie because well, for one, it's like I mean, obviously most people are getting their news these days from social media, from
Yeah.
TikTok, from Reels, from you just
Yeah.
they're not going to traditional news sites.
Yes.
You know that's been because I'm in traditional media
Yes.
or have been, and that's been their main issue is they can't get people to actually click on stories.
Yes. And I
So-
think also just on that super quickly
Yeah,
is that the White House has been known that every 4 years or so, actually correct me if I'm wrong, but every 4 years or so with the presidency change, they get new people that apply to become correspondents for certain news networks at the White House, or is that not?
Yeah, usually,
thing.
if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
the presidents and their teams usually get to pick who the
Yep.
press corps is, who gets to come in. Because I know in Trump's last administration, he had some people from like Newsmax and Breitbart,
Yes.
and then when Biden came in, of course they were
Yeah. The
not
pendulum
not
swung
as
the other
well
way.
pundits.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole idea is that like for the longest time ever, it's always been legacy media companies
Yeah.
or like just more like I guess corporate, more like just when you think of journalism, you think TV network or like a blog site or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This year it's different. This year we really got fucking Bryce Hall doing the Renegade. But there's genuine like they're actively recruiting influencers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, YouTubers, you name it.
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword because on one hand, like these people, they have audiences, they have reach. If there's
Yep.
something, if there's a message, the U.S. government wants to send something they want to communicate, then these are channels,
Yep.
good channels to like get that message passed on.
Yep.
The risk is, like there's more to journalism than just like writing and just just saying, oh, this is happening. It's like you have to have a sense of objectivity. You have to be
Yes.
able to discern what's actually happening. You got to be able to ask the right questions and dig deeper. It's very easy to just observe something and be like, oh, this is happening, and then ask no follow-up questions. Or, in the case of this administration, they, I mean, fuck, I've followed anything Trump related for like almost 10 years now,
Yeah.
and he loves people who do nothing but just feed his ego or say only positive stuff about him. So
Kiss the ring.
yeah, so it's like, I have a hard. I have a hard time like believing his team will say something and those people will either they'll pass either they'll like do you the what's it they'll misinform people.
Yep.
There's a difference. Like 'cause to misinform is to like take in what's
Actually
Trump's people
happening.
are saying, and then they'll just
Alter it a
pass
little
it.
bit.
Well, to misinform is
Oh
actually
yeah, sorry.
so
Yeah.
there's a difference. So
Yep.
misinformation is when you know if I was in this White House press corps, Trump
Yep.
told me something,
Yep.
and I went and I passed on that same message, but
Yep.
didn't dig further. I didn't realize I was lying. I was
Mm.
telling a falsehood. Disinformation would be he passes it on, and I knowingly try to
Change it up a
deceive
little bit.
people
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
lead people on,
Yeah.
and that's um, it's a real problem.
Yeah. And I think this, like, the way that this thing has come about, I think it's kind of natural or it's kind of predictable. Because, I mean, I don't know if you could tell, but like in this election, it was like you really saw the power of influencers, and you really saw like it was really it was super rare to see an influencer not be on either side of the political spectrum. Like, especially this most recent election, I just felt like every even it doesn't even have to be an American. Like every influencer that had like a tiny bit of influence that spoke in politics were like either extremely like far left or far right, and they were just like writing for the political candidate, and they were saying that like it's the last election ever kind of thing, and it was just like all that like scary talk. But yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show like the power and numbers that these like seemingly weak or seemingly like I don't know what the word is, but I mean, when you think of an influencer, you don't think they're like as legitimate as like a BBC or like a Fox News or blah blah blah.
No, but
But numbers wise, they are probably closer than you think,
yeah,
which is scary.
they're yeah. Well, I think, and it's weird because like the lines get I think kind of blurred because like I think of like Joe Rogan comes to mind
Yep.
because the whole concept of his podcast is he talks to random people regardless of politics, regardless of viewpoints, whether they're super accurate with their beliefs or they're full of shit, and
Yep.
he just talks to them. It's just a human conversation,
Yep.
which on the surface that's pretty great, but
Yep.
then the problem is, and why he faced a ton of controversy. I don't know if you remember a few years ago.
COVID stuff.
There was COVID stuff. It was what's his face, Jordan Peterson
Yep.
on his podcast. It's because so many people see him as a source of news, see him
Yep.
as a legitimate source of information, whether he wants to be seen that way or not.
Yes.
And so, thing is, he wasn't meeting that expectation that people had set on him.
Yep.
And so that's where that controversy came from. But
Yep.
also, it won't just be him. It'll be a lot of people who turn to influencers, who turn to they look at people they just respect and they assume anything they say could be they may assume it's
Yeah.
gospel, that it's what they say, it's got to be true.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
you're in a unique position because one, you work in a I guess more modern like marketing agency, but you're also a journalist,
Yeah.
and so as a journalist, how do I say this? As a journalist, are you for or against the inclusion of influencers in the White House?
I'm kind of I gotta can I give a mixed response
There you
because
go.
it's like
Fence sitter. No.
no, legit though. Like
Yeah.
I think because I mean, legacy media is dying. I talk to people at TVNZ. They're or Television New Zealand.
Yeah.
They're literally like yeah, we know we're dying. We
Our
got
news
to
on the
find a
numbers.
way out.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's the right move to get influencers, younger voices, people on more modern platforms involved.
Yep.
I think I don't know how you go about it, but I think there needs to be there just needs to be a way to discern, who who's the best to report on this information and dig deeper
Yeah.
and pass it on. Who's because the journalist's job is to be objective, is to hear, these to ask questions, get answers, but then to also think what do people want to know?
Yeah.
What are the follow-up questions they want to ask, and to be able to dig deeper and I think also just you got to have it as a journalist if you're an influencer and you want to be more of take a more journalistic approach, you got to just have a hunger for the truth, for the facts, and don't let your own personal values, your own ego get in the
Get in the
way.
way, yeah. Yeah.
Regardless of who you support, regardless of your politics, you just
Yeah.
got to say what is.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think like yeah, one of the biggest fears I think for like any normal person that is thinking about this with this new decision is that for one, it's gonna be hard the removal of bias from these influencers
Hmm.
because they've built their following based on their biases, I think.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be like one or the other. I think you either try and keep your audience and just like pander to them, or you have to like fold to the system and just like
Mm.
report the news as it is rather than
Mm.
like and upset your audience like that's the cost of it.
Yeah.
But just on that actually, like
Mm.
I don't know if this is a dumb question,
Mm.
but I mean if we have a fear of the influencers being biased, doesn't are they any different from like legacy media? Like is there any legacy media that isn't biased?
Oh, I think so. This is actually my hot take.
Yeah.
So a lot of what every newsroom, every media room you go into, or yeah, just any media organization, news
Yep.
organization you join, they'll tell you about how they try to be, yeah, non-biased and not have an agenda.
Yeah.
Part gets thrown around. We don't have an agenda. My take is, like there'll definitely be some legacy media that do have a nefarious agenda or some, they'll have an ulterior motive.
Yep.
But I think, like, even, you look at television New Zealand, I don't think they're too bad. I
Mhm.
think they're pretty, I think they're actually, pretty fair. But
Yeah.
I think the fact is, all across the world, in every country, a bunch of journalists get together 9 a.m. every morning. They
Yep.
get on a Zoom call or a Teams call, and they say, "All right, here's all this stuff we found. What do we collectively think are the best news stories of the day?" And
Mm.
so, you know, regardless of, even if there isn't, anything nefarious,
Yeah.
anything like they're not trying to cause harm,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there's still an agenda nonetheless.
Yeah.
They decide these are the most important
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
so I think that's,
Mm.
yeah, that's,
Interesting.
yeah. So I think, and a problem with legacy media is that I don't think they want to acknowledge that fact that,
Mm.
you know, that they do have an agenda of sorts. It might
Yeah.
not be negative or positive, but it's still nonetheless an agenda.
Yeah.
And I think the fact they haven't acknowledged that, uh, I think that can hurt
Yeah.
reputations because because I think, like, actually, to your point about biases, like,
Yeah.
I think it's like it helps. Well, a lot of, if your journalist leans more to the left or more to the right, it helps if they're at least honest about it.
Yeah.
They say, "Yep, this is my kind of reporting. This is what I focus on." Then
Yeah.
so be it. Then it,
Yeah.
leaves out any doubt.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I think like I don't know if this is like a naive way to think about it, but I think that whenever you, I mean, it's always a little apparent when you can tell what bias or what way
Mm.
the news network is leaning.
Hmm.
But I genuinely think it's not incompetence. I think it's like
Mm.
that just happens to be the way they think, and I don't think that they're like inherently like evil or like wanna screw
Mm.
over the other person. It's just like that's their way of thinking on both sides,
Mm.
both like the right or
Yeah.
left
Oh, yeah.
side. Like
A lot of it, I think, it can be incompetence, and
yeah,
I can't speak for American news organizations because those are the big giant ones,
yep,
or British ones.
yep,
Those are, I can't speak for them. I haven't worked for them, but
yeah,
I know with TV and Z, like, it's rare that there's been times where they're like, we want to phrase something this way to spin it this way. It's
yeah,
usually, what's happened is when I think we've gotten in trouble, especially with, like, writing articles
yeah,
online. It'll be a certain choice of words or a certain word used in the headline,
yeah,
and that gets people riled up,
yeah,
or something gets misunderstood, lost in translation,
yeah,
and yeah, the people, and I'm speaking solely from my own
yeah,
experience, but the people I know, they're not, like, intent on trying to deceive people or throw people
yeah,
off,
yeah,
but there are just times where usually by accident,
yeah,
something just gets misconstrued or
yeah,
just misunderstood,
yeah,
and and the thing is, like, we're humans, we make mistakes, but at the same time, we're supposed to be this source of truth, and when that doesn't happen, uh, if we're the source of truth 90% of the time,
Yeah.
99% of the time, and
Yeah.
then 1% of the time there's a little oopsie,
Yeah.
then that gets, of course, that shatters
Yeah.
some of that.
That shatters a
It,
big
it
percentage.
takes
Yeah.
a big chip out of that illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. I am for this this direction that the White House is taking.
Mhm.
But again, this is coming from somebody that like has never been into journalism or like has doesn't have any experience in journalism. So like I don't know if they've necessarily like earned their stripes,
Mm.
but I think like as the times go on, I guess you earn your stripes in a different way. Like if
Yeah.
yeah, I just think that
Mm.
I mean it's about time. I think like you
Yeah.
because you don't want to be left behind, and you don't. If I'm the United States, I would want to have the people that yeah. I mean it's all about like information, like the spread of information, and I think
Mhm.
one of the quickest ways to do that is like the notable figures on X, the notable figures
Mhm.
on TikTok, and it's just like it's so on the go and it's so like in your phone in the palm of your hand at all times that you can
Mhm.
just like not miss it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No,
I am for it. I think I am.
yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I think there has to be like a bit of a dual relationship or
Yeah.
something here. Like I think just overall, yes, I think it's a good idea too. But also I think there has to be I don't know if I trust this White House, but there has to be I don't know some kind of vetting that to know that the people the influencers they're bringing on are
Yeah.
actually going to be, journalists.
Yeah, and I don't think they should have too many. And I think that like to give the role or position a bit of prestige, I think they should have some influencers, especially if it's the first time ever they're like rolling out influencers. I think it should be like maybe 10% of the room. You don't
Mm.
want a whole room of TikTokers for the first time ever.
No.
I just think that is a train wreck bound to happen. That's it. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. It's yeah. I don't know. One thing about this, like the current state of the United States, is that you can't not look away. Like it's
Mm.
just something big is happening every day, and it's just like
Yep,
yeah,
that's
good or bad.
how do you think I feel, man?
Yeah,
Gotta watch this every day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a weird reality show. Honestly,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
it's so
Feels that
dystopian.
way.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of dystopian,
Oh.
actually, no, I don't know
Yeah.
where I was going with that. Speaking of America,
Award shows.
something is happening in LA right now.
Oh, I've pulled up X right now. I don't know if anything's happened.
So, at the time of this recording, the Grammys is going on right now.
Correct.
Not like us, Kendrick Lamar is doing a sweep show, I think. Chappelle Roan won New Artist of the Year.
Yep.
Who did you have your eyes out for anything, any category in particular?
Not. I don't know. I was looking at. Actually, I was having my eyes on best rap album.
Yeah.
That went to Doechii, for Alligator Bites Never Heal.
Wait, I don't know who that is.
You
What's
don't
her
know
name?
Doechii?
No.
I'm sure you've heard her music.
Wait, best rap album?
Yeah. Yeah,
What the
she's
hell?
the I think third female rapper to ever win after Lauryn Hill and Cardi B.
What
So-
the hell? She beat Future. She beat J. Cole.
Yep. She beat
She
Eminem.
beat Eminem.
Yep.
Alligator Bites Never Heal.
Yeah, I actually listened to that album for the first time like 2 days ago. It's really, really good, man.
Wait, is that the TikTok you made?
Yeah. You
Oh,
saw
shit,
that.
okay, okay,
Literally,
okay.
like I
Whoa, what the
filmed that.
fuck?
I filmed that like yesterday. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. I did not know that she was gonna win. I was
Bro,
just like,
he got insider information. What the hell? Okay.
yeah. So
Damn.
that was cool. Yeah. I'm looking at what's new.
Bro, Future got robbed. What do you mean? No, I'm joking.
the Weeknd gave a surprise performance.
Yeah, Shakira had a performance as well. She's
Yeah.
back from like 7 years or something.
Yeah, she
SZA won for Saturn.
Shakira won an award for best Latin pop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you heard about Kanye West?
About Kanye
Yeah.
at this show, yeah. Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Okay, for those that don't know, I'm sure you will know by the time this comes out. But
Oh yeah.
Kanye West pulled up with his. I mean, I think it's "Wife" is the title, but like
Yeah.
for the sake of this podcast, I'm just gonna say "Wife." But man,
Yeah.
oh man,
Bianca Censori. I think
yes,
that's her name. Yep.
bona fide Australian architect. um, formerly known as that, currently known as Kanye's prop. She pulled up to the show with Kanye, obviously, and she was wearing like a big ass fur coat, and then she took it off, and there was not much underneath.
Yeah,
And
not much left to the imagination.
no, the imagination was on the camera. It was
Yes,
right
it
there.
was.
And apparently they got escorted out.
Yeah, I was trying to find a source on that, but I had heard, was it
Yeah.
like yeah, Entertainment Tonight? I heard
Yeah.
that they weren't even invited to the show. They just
Yeah.
showed up on the red carpet and got
Yeah.
ushered out.
It's weird, man. But yeah, I mean, it's funny, but it's sad. I don't know. There's something wrong. There's definitely something going with that relationship. I feel like this is a wicked documentary 10 years in the making from now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. Any crazy awards? Any big names?
Big names. Let's see.
I know
Well,
Brat won a couple.
oh
Charlie
yeah.
XCX.
Oh yeah, won something. I can't find it. I will
Yeah.
find it. I know. Chappell Roan,
Yep.
best new artist. That was.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a feeling she'd do it, but you also had Sabrina Carpenter and Benson Boone, so I was
Yeah.
very pleased with that.
Country album of the year.
That went to Beyonce.
For I gotta thank Beyonce. I mean, the chokehold she has on that fucking on the award show is crazy, man.
Gosh, that's like, I mean, maybe you can. I don't know if this becomes a clip, you can edit it in later.
Yeah.
But there's a her reaction.
Yeah.
There's like gifs of it now because it's.
Was she shocked?
Yeah, I'll show you. This is here. Like, this is her hearing. She won. Put that in later.
Bro,
I don't know, but it's
yeah.
like that's her 34th Grammy.
It's crazy,
She's the
man.
most decorated like recording academy member ever. Like,
Is she actually?
yeah,
No way.
like, so it's like, dang.
Nah. What the hell? Who won though?
Well, I mean, I guess.
It's
Gosh, I
Beyonce.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know what even to say.
Yeah,
but-
Cowboy Carter. Yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously there's like a big push on like fire relief causes, which is really good because it's. I mean, the award show is happening in California. You'd be crazy to ignore the fire that the tragedy that's happened.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of advocacy, like because Trevor Noah's hosting, and whenever
Yes.
it cuts to him, he's like pointing to the QR code on
Yep.
screen saying,
Yep.
donate, donate, donate."
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear what Chaperone's speech? She called out the labels.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's her last award ever.
yeah, it might be actually. I'll find a snippet of what
Yeah.
she said.
Is she?
So-
But she's signed, right?
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
This was her, like, I guess her first
yeah.
ever Grammy.
Yeah.
I think she went up. She said, "This is just part of it."
Let's go. Let's hear it.
She said, "Record labels need to treat their artists as valuable employees with a livable wage and health insurance and protection. Labels, we got you, but do you got us?"
Damn.
Yeah.
Mic dropped.
Yeah.
That was the last we've ever heard of Chapel.
She was never seen again.
She went to Cuba, guys. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the Grammys. I think it's cool. I didn't really. I only realized today how many award categories there are.
Oh, there's so many
It's
Grammys.
like
Like,
over 40 something. It's crazy.
there's so many. Like, yeah, most, like the actual ceremony, they go through like usually like about around 10
Yeah.
awards, and they're like considered as the big ones. But there's so many that are just like,
There's like best comedy album. There's like
yeah, you get comedy albums, you get podcasts, you get,
Yeah.
it's literally anything, any kind of entertainment you can hear. They
Yeah.
have a Grammy for it.
Yeah.
But they just do they do an actual big show for like,
Yeah.
the big artists and
Yeah.
albums and stuff.
and the whole red carpet thing and yeah.
Yeah.
It's just pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I think
Yeah.
I'm over the Grammys. I think I'm over award shows.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't. I'm not. I don't tune in all that much. There wasn't really anyone I'm like,
Yeah.
following, like dying to hear about
Yeah.
this time around. But I'm like, oh,
This is coming from the perspective of somebody that like almost exclusively listens to rap, the whole genre. But I think like year by year they've lost their like credibility or like their weight, because they'd be given
Yeah.
like the albums to like more obscure people and to somebody that's like never heard of like the album that just won best rap album. I'm like, no, what the hell? Future was meant to win. But I mean, I get that I'm being naive and stuff, but like that will be the like wider reaction on X. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, well, I
the
think
Grammys
like,
will never catch a break.
yeah, I think we were talking a little bit earlier about this, how they're, Grammys, as far as we know, aren't necessarily like rigged. Like you can't buy a Grammy, but also, when you got to campaign. If you're an artist, and you
Oh,
have
yeah.
your label, you got to campaign for a Grammy because there's like, I think it was like 2,000 different Recording Academy members. So these are like people, just people and
Yeah.
big people in the industry who cast these votes for Grammys.
Yep.
And like artists are like sending them gifts and stuff. They like try to, win them over. They put like billboards and stuff up near their houses to be
Yeah.
like, consider me.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's all it's all politicking.
it's oh totally, yeah. So it
And
becomes
lobbying.
it's lobbying. It
Yeah.
becomes kind of in a way, kind of a popularity contest,
Yeah.
or sometimes there are things that happen. Like I remember there was a few years ago where I don't know if you know who John Baptiste is. He's like this.
I've heard of.
He's like a jazzy
Yeah.
piano.
Is he nominated for something this time?
So not
Yeah.
he might be this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing major, but a few years back, he won Album of the Year,
Okay.
and that took a lot of people by surprise because most people don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But I guess part of that was because I guess so many of the votes were like diluted and spread across so many artists nominated that like he just ended up with the most. So he took it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. So if you want to win a Grammy, you basically have to be besties with Beyonce.
Yeah, have lots of. You got to be talented and have money
Yeah. And
Yeah.
be cool with Jay-Z
and be cool. Yeah.
and Beyonce
That's true. Yeah.
and Blue Ivy.
Also, if you want to play at the Super Bowl, you got to go through Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Apple
I'm
Music.
looking forward to that, man.
Oh,
That performance is gonna be
that's-
crazy.
it's a week from today.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited,
And like,
man.
I think Kendrick Lamar, I think he did 3 awards just for the song "Not Like Us," 3
Yeah.
Grammys. So
We're still waiting on, I think, Song of the Year, and that's
Yeah.
nominated too. So
Yeah.
fuck imagine.
and yeah, he won Best Performance and Best Rap Song, and I think there was like another one.
Music video.
Yeah.
I guess music
Yeah,
video
yeah,
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. It's not Drake's year. It's not Drake's year at all.
Not the year of Drizzy. No.
No, I don't think he's nominated for anything, which is crazy.
Not that I saw. Well, did he? Well, oh yeah, he put plenty out last year.
Yeah,
Diss tracks
yeah.
and stuff. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But I guess because I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, the
What a-
tide is turning. You hate to see it, Drake.
Yeah.
Should have stayed bestie with Beyonce.
Bigger than the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. With that being said, guys, thanks so
Yeah.
much for tuning to the YAP podcast.
Yes.
Devin, any final words? Plug your TikTok.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's my handle? Oh my God, I posted my very first TikTok.
Yes, I was surprised when I saw that. I was like, nah, surely like
Yeah.
he deleted
This guy's
it. Like,
faking.
yeah.
I actually did delete it because I didn't like the cover.
Ah,
image,
did you?
So I switched it out. Follow me at devin.c.pike. I talk about music. I talk about albums. Not a critic, but I love just talking about music that I love.
We got
So-
our own Anthony Fantano in the flesh.
No, no, you're not.
No, not that. bad.
I'm not out to like hate albums. I just
Yeah.
want to talk about stuff I like. So
That's fair enough.
yeah, give it a listen.
Yeah.
Love you. Appreciate you.
Subscribe to the newsletter.
Yes,
See you tomorrow.
but yeah, above all else, support YAP.
Subscribe to the newsletter.
Gatorade.
See you tomorrow. Peace.
See ya.